All right, OBS has fixed itself, and light is green, so we are all set and ready to go for another Super Robot Sunday here on Sound Goblin Gaming, as we continue our playthrough of SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays and finish up Gundam Seed Astray. I am, as always, Bograt.
I am the Krampus.
I'm Shiv.
I'm Hunter Green.
And I'm Vincent.
And, yeah, we'll just kind of get right to it. We've got, basically today, most likely, we're going to get through the rest of Seed Astray, and then we're going to get through, there's only 3 missions for Cross Astray, or X Astray, and we'll probably get through all of that today, most likely. Which means next week we get to get into Destiny. Oh wow, what a surprise. The Earth forces somehow found out that the nation of Orb had this floating mass driver.
I mean, there was a non-floating mass driver at
Yeah, that's
Orb.
the one they went after.
Yeah, they actually blow it up in the series.
Yes. And again, the space anyway, so it's...
Yep. To be fair, in that series, it seems most likely that the mass drivers are really only for getting large ships into space. Because it seems like they have regular shuttles, they were able to get up there without it.
Yeah.
Also, I should go and open Twitch because we don't currently have chat open.
Nope. So OBS somehow managed to lose our Twitch login information.
Yeah, that sounds
OBS
accurate.
does as OBS wills.
This is just why I don't even bother with the Twitch integration to OBS. Just one more thing for OBS to fuck up. That would explain it. Hunter, go ahead and say something.
Saying something?
Oh, there we go. You missed earlier.
Oh, that
You,
one.
you turned on us hearing audio from Bluetooth, which doesn't have anything connected, but didn't turn on us hearing anything from the aux jack, which is what Hunter's audio is currently running through.
I just press buttons.
I was like, I'm hearing Hunter, but I'm hearing Hunter in the room, not in my headset.
Ah.
Like, it was still being picked up on OBS. That's fine. This is just what we hear. Like, the board was still getting your audio. It just wasn't putting
Oh, yeah.
your audio out to us.
Yeah, I
So
saw
I can do
OBS
shit like
reacting,
this.
so...
And, like, cut us hearing game audio.
So many pipes. That's a Mario Galaxy world.
No, those are actually rocket boosters, and every once in a while, for fun, they turn them on at random and send the whole thing into just a weird spiral.
I mean, it's a good thing they're in space, so it's not like they need to worry about...
Oh, no, they kick
Mentoring.
on the artificial gravity as soon as they do it,
Oh,
just to make
okay.
everyone hurl all over the station.
I was going to say, the cleaning crew, just needs to actually work that day.
I mean, the citizens do get warning. Loud klaxons play, and a voice says, "Pinball, pinball, pinball," before they do it.
I mean, I'd be tilted by that.
Also, the rehome.
Also, why does the one on top have a claw?
Just cuz.
Never know when you need a claw.
But
And yes, obviously, we made it back into space, so we need a space-capable ship again. Not Walfeld's abandoned land hovercraft.
yeah, yes.
That we somehow, without any real access to parts or equipment, made capable of also going over the water.
Specifically, the rehome is a Cornelius class ship. It's basically a cargo ship that's meant to work directly with the
Archangel.
Yeah, it's Captain GG.
Yes.
Yes, it is, in fact, Captain GG.
Yeah, so it turns out the GG unit they got in one of their side adventures is just the brain of George Len. So
Yeah.
they integrate. So the professor integrates him into the ship's circuits in order to be the captain of the ship, so she has less to do.
So remember last time when we talked about how that she's a huge George Glenn fangirl?
Her brain has short-circuited.
Yes. It doesn't help the fact that George Glenn's public persona and his actual personality are not
Wildly different.
Yes. As George Glenn is
Public persona, he is presented as this like gallant hero.
actual personality, he's much closer to low, if anything.
He's a fucking goof.
No, those show up in Sea Destiny. Unfortunately.
You know, originally I was aiming for crab claws with my genetic alterations. I wanted to be Lobster Man.
You know, this raises so many questions, but apparently they have technology in this world to A, preserve a brain, and B, have that brain still basically be functioning.
Oh yeah, no, they absolutely have brain in a jar technology. What, you got a problem with that?
From that it only shows up here.
That's okay. They do more of George Glenn than they do in the original series.
No, I mean,
I mean-
the tech in general.
I mean that's okay that it only shows up in here. It's a fun idea. Of course, it can't show up in the main series.
This is true. The main series is distinctly anti-fun.
I mean, my only disappointment with it is that no matter how far they go, Gundam series will never take crossover ideas from Outlaw Star, so they couldn't put grapply arms on the ship to have George Glenn fist fight people, because he would.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when I brought that space whale skeleton back?
They would get into a combat, and Captain GG would immediately send the Rehome charging at something to punch it. What's that? A mobile armor? I'm gonna wrestle it.
Hashtag not my Glenn.
Yes, conversely, kind of as we said, Yamabuki is a huge fangirl of the publicly presented persona of George Glenn, so Captain GG existing just like shatters her. Like, this can't be what George Glenn is like. It's literally his brain in a box. This is exactly what George Glenn was like.
Also goes over the George Glenn's concept of coordinators wasn't supposed to be a genetically engineered super race or anything stupid like that. It's just whoever is actually helping mankind advance into the stars.
Yep.
Lo is more a coordinator than anyone in the plants.
Yep.
Wait. So you're saying a coordinator is someone who coordinates humanity's future?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh my God! See, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's what the quote unquote coordinator title was intended to be. But then they were like, oh well, George Glenn was a genetically altered human. That means coordinators are genetically altered humans. It's like,
The sad thing is that sounds like that'd be a really good plot point to have in the series.
uh-huh.
Why is there so much failure in Seed?
See? This made me hate Seed.
Because nothing in Gundam Seed can ever go right.
Don't forget, Gundam Seed also requires you to reconcile people having their kids turned into coordinators and hating them.
And then immediately hating them
later.
because they were genetically altered people.
Like, it's not like new types, which are just like a divergent thing that happens. You actively have to make your kids new types. At least initially. I mean, there's like second, third generation new types, but like the initial new types were made. There are people
Coordinators, yeah.
Or initial coordinators. The initial coordinators were made. There are people who are alive whose kids were Generation 1 coordinators.
Yep.
And
But-
Fanboy is Prime, to address a few comments. No, this is not technically necromancy. That requires magic.
Oh, what?
Speaking with the dead.
Gigi's brain?
Yes.
No, it's not necromancy. He never
still
died.
alive.
They preserved
Yeah.
his brain.
Yeah, the brain never actually.
Though
died.
yes, he would totally powerbomb a destroy Gundam.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the destroy Gundam would deserve it for being a destroy Gundam.
I was gonna say,
Not for anything it does, it just looks derpy.
it's like that is a fate that it does not deserve. Not because it'd be too bad, but because it'd be too awesome.
And of course, no one asked George Glenn what he meant. That would involve people being intelligent in this series.
So many abandoned plot.
I mean,
ideas.
so admittedly, in this particular instance, this happened before it happened in UC. But to draw another UC parallel, Unicorn reveals that the initial founding charter of the Earth Federation had an actual clause, which was later omitted from every other version of the Earth Federation charter that was ever published, which was explicitly, essentially, should a sort of new evolution of humanity more adapted to life in space ever arise, they should be given a voice and power within the Earth Federation government.
Yeah.
Yep.
UC handles this much better. I mean, we haven't seen a ton of the repercussions of that as of yet because there hasn't been a lot of stuff set post Unicorn that has been released after Unicorn came out. But what little bits we have, even stuff like in Hathaway, there's a very definite undertone to it. Even though the Hathaway anime is adapting a work that was made before Unicorn existed, the Hathaway anime has some acknowledgement of that event having happened because it was, broadcast across the entire Earth sphere, and there was absolutely no way for them to just hand wave it like, oh, that didn't happen, nobody knows about it. So like Hathaway at least kind of acknowledges that it happened, but basically kind of puts it out there like, oh yeah, the Earth Federation is sort of stalling it and just being like, well, we have to figure out what this means and how we're really supposed to manage that, and like, what is a new type? Who's a new type? We don't know. We have to make sure there's ways to do it before we just give whoever, governmental power. And obviously we don't see it a lot yet because we've only had the one Hathaway film so far, but I'm hoping it ties in a lot more to the sort of motivations of the terrorists within Hathaway. Particularly because Hathaway's personal motivation doesn't make sense in the anime canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of the way that CCA ended differently than the novelization.
Yeah. Also, everything we have that's post Hathaway practically anywhere else anyways doesn't really take much place within, like, the Earth sphere area, from what I understand. It's more...
F91 sort of does, and Victory, the first part of Victory, is entirely on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Although, to be fair, by the time of Victory, the Earth Federation is so completely insignificant that we barely even see anything that's actually fully Earth Federation in Victory.
Yeah.
They have, at that point, almost entirely retreated to just sort of controlling the areas of Earth where they have major presence and letting the rest of Earth sphere kind of do whatever the fuck it's going to do, even if that does mean being conquered by a empire so transparently evil that they literally build guillotines to execute their political opponents.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, what we were just discussing.
The people love the guillotine.
Yeah, here it is where George Gunn is like, do you know what a coordinator is? And it's like, somebody who's been genetically modified. No, you moron.
Like, no, that's not what I meant.
You absolute fucking buffoon.
Acts as a bridge between humanity and the next stage of evolution. Coordinators are literally supposed to coordinate this transition.
So the name has meaning.
I know. Maybe I should explain that better. Oh well. Not my problem anymore.
Fine, I've only been dead for like 15 years. 16, something like that.
Yeah, George Glenn didn't actually die that long ago at the time of Seed.
No. Seed's timeline is super crunched and doesn't actually make any sense.
Poor girl. Dreams are shattered.
Never meet your heroes, kids.
Also, as an aside, I believe they found this particular ship, or this particular ship was found in the wreckage of Heliopolis. They just bought it.
Yes.
So it's just me, or does Captain Gigi have a bit of a Harlock collar going on?
I mean, that's... So, the uniform he's wearing in this is actually like an Earth Forces officer's uniform, just with the Junk Guild implementation on it. You don't see it very much in Seed because most of the officers in there use a different style of uniform that you see, but that is actually just an Earth Forces officer uniform.
Hashtag not my Glenn.
Yeah, Fanboy must hopefully they'll actually put Crossbone Dust in some game at some point, rather than just doing the same goddamn Crossbone stuff over and over again. Don't get me wrong, I love Crossbone. I would love to see more of the Crossbone, like, side story and sequel stuff involved, rather than literally just, like, Crossbone and Skullheart. That's all we ever get.
I'd like to see
I
it animated.
think Steel 7 shows up sometimes.
So did a lot of
I
people.
want to say like at least one Steel 7 showed up.
Most of the time, though, it's like just units. We don't even get any story stuff. But I want to see older tan Tobia obsessing over his children.
And they don't have an excuse not to. It's not like Sentinel where they can't really.
Yeah, no, they have the rights to Crossbone.
They have the rights to Crossbone.
It's
There's no
theirs.
weird issues. Just make it.
Honestly, I just want to see weird dimensional bullshit so that you have both Kincaid / Seabook and adult Tobia around.
We're talking about Kincaid now?
No, later.
Okay.
I'm exactly sure how the Skullheart new type monkeys in modified Zaku's have never been in a Super Robot Wars game.
Everyone, get out there. Try and find something, because we just seem to be randomly blowing up.
That rock, clearly.
See, the thing you have to remember, Fanboy MS, is that the Super Robot Wars games generally try and treat Gundam as if it's the serious series. I mean, it's not, but they really try and pretend like Gundam has gravitas.
I mean, they have to pick a series. They have to try and pick a series to be serious. And when your other options are, I'm going to destroy the NATO in the world, and I scream a lot, and that makes things happen.
God, I can't wait till we get to X and have fucking Machine Hero Wataru.
Like, there are scales. I would assume based on all the stuff that's typically in an SRW game, Gundam is quote unquote the serious one.
Yeah, as it turns out, when you put a competent pilot in a suit that has Mirage Colloid, it's actually very effective.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
had-
he's not 15.
I had genuinely forgotten that the new type of monkey project was initially started by Garma Sabi.
Magnificent.
That's not something he can blame on the misfortune of his birth.
No, I'm almost certain that came about from somebody in a meeting screaming, I bet you I could get trained monkeys to work these sockets better than your pilots. And Garma was like, you're on. And everyone else was like, what?
Garmus, no,
He's already out the
I
door.
understand that Char was out for revenge against the zombie family, but you think he took out Garma just because he heard about this plan?
Remember, he and Garma were supposedly friends.
There are a
Maybe I
lot
could-
of reasons
maybe I
why he
could
took out
spare you.
Garma.
Oh wait, no, I can't.
There are a lot of reasons why he took out Garma. God, I love this track. feels like a fucking Castlevania song.
It does, and it works really well for the Sahakus, especially Gina.
Yeah.
Option A, Rondo is playing this in his cockpit diegetically. Option B, Captain Gigi is playing this diegetically.
Both are fine.
Is this like Okita constantly demanding the orchestra plays on the bridge?
Only when they fire the wave motion gun.
Wave motion gun.
Which, if Okita had his way, would be always. Yes, we'll get into Super Robot Wars X and get Machine Hero Wataru, and then eventually we will get to 30 and just all the insanity of 30.
And the Red Frames music.
Now back to generic J-Rock. Not bad, but generic J-Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, generic J-Rock is a thing. Again, the Bandai Namco sound team have become extremely good at over, 40 years of making Super Robot Wars games. But
yeah, it is interesting. They actually
35-ish, yeah.
Yeah, but they did actually make a soundtrack specifically for Red Frame, Blue Frame, and
Yes.
Gold Frame.
No, they actually do that a lot. Like, again,
Yeah.
for Crossbone, like, Tobia has a specific theme.
Yeah. The Gold
Yeah, I was
Frame
gonna say-
and the Red Frame and Sortie Team.
Yeah,
Well,
I was going to say, Fanboy, but yes, it would be great to have Megas XLR in a Super Robot Wars game. Unfortunately, that would necessitate anyone who has any matter of control over the rights of Megas XLR to be willing to talk to anyone else who has the rights over Megas XLR.
Unusual that goes a kill target thing that happened like 2 feet away.
yeah, we don't have to like drag someone across the board. It has a lot of health.
Yeah, I was just checking to make sure because I saw it sparking, which I know is only like half health, so could be still a lot, but it was specifically, I was just making sure that I did not get it too low.
Although 150 meter Gerba straight. Gerba straight. You get the point. Does the Rehome have a gun?
Huh?
Does the Rehome have a gun?
Probably. No.
Okay.
It does have,
It
it
does
just,
have a couple.
yeah, just nothing. It's specific,
Yeah, warship cannon and yeah.
so that's a circle around it, and that's a circle around it with a gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just 8 spaces away, so it's not actually like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it would need to move up like a space. But I seriously doubt it's going to kill it.
Oh, it's absolutely not. It's a warship. It's probably not even going to hit. Like,
Yeah. Is Lily just the Amatsu Mina on the map? Or the Amatsu, right?
oh no, there's a bunch of stuff back here.
Oh, okay. There's that forces.
Yeah.
Certainly for the follow-up of kill all enemies.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
go ahead and actually have low attack in, and if he doesn't kill it on this, he'll kill it on crackback.
Yeah.
Fucking does it even have?
Lightning
Gerbera
Ball.
straight is going to be his best. Lightning Ball needs super high morale. He doesn't have
never
it.
mind. Yeah.
So Gerbera straight is going to be the best attack possible here.
I have a Gundam. The rules don't apply to me.
Okay, so there's an extremely heavy asterisk on that Femboyamus. Technically speaking, stuff from the second season of Big O has shown up in Super Robot Wars, which is, technically speaking, at least half an American anime.
Yes.
The second season of Big O was entirely funded by Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Like, granted, it was still made by the Japanese studio, but it was basically paid for by America.
Ah, just short.
Yeah. I figured it would be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring as well, but just means that low will get it either on the crackback or next turn, depending upon if Gina there decides to attack low or somebody else.
Also, there's these Jins over here to play with just because.
Zaft picking a bad fight. Which, honestly, not surprised that they would choose poorly.
Shame if Bellery flew through there and blew up all their ships.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he's just firing some warning shots into the cockpits of the enemy.
They should know by now.
Yeah, da.
I needs like one more chance step to get there.
Or just
Or
undock.
undock, yeah.
Imagine you're in the Zaft military and you see a single unit just fly in, destroy all three of your cruisers, and move out, just ignoring the rest of you. Yeah.
Given what knowledge that thing is capable of, I'd just be happy to decide to fire out photon torpedoes.
Right?
Though to be fair, now that I think about it, the freedom effectively does that on its own.
Kind of,
Just
yeah.
gonna beam spam and disable all your ships, and rest you can just float here lazily. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little weird that given the plan for VXT was to have series with international appeal, was to that like they didn't have Big O in it, but at the same time, it's also kind of understandable because at the time, like Big O had already it's still popular in America, but it's not like a fresh popularity. At the time, stuff like Cross Ange was very popular in America among
Unfortunately.
among certain type of people. See, the thing I didn't like involving Cross Ange and Super Robot Wars was Cross Ange being in Super Robot Wars.
Yep. Maybe we should do that as a what? No.
I mean, yes, but not.
We're
No.
going to
Until
eventually.
we will eventually, but we've got a long time.
We're not gonna do that watch through until.
I mean, we
Till it's
we,
relevant.
we
Yeah,
don't
till
have
the next
we
episode.
don't have that long a time. We have the rest of this game.
Yeah.
Let me enjoy my piece.
Hey, I'm the one who has to start playing through Destiny next week,
I am actually very slightly interested in Cross Ange now.
only because of the composer.
Solely because someone who's so involved in music, the same person did was like all the vocals and composition for Archanelica. It's like I heard a track and it's like, this track sounds like really similar to Archanelica music. And I realized like, oh, this comes from this
Because it
person.
basically is
Who is
Archanelica
also, like,
music.
the person who did every composition and every vocal track for Archanelico, the first Archanelico Melody of Lemia.
Yeah.
And then is also like one of the primary composers for Cross Ange.
And you'll be hearing it at double speed.
I mean, maybe it'll do what it did for Seed Destiny, which is somehow actually improve an already decent OST.
I mean, in fairness,
Or
we'd
turn a lot of stuff into EDM.
we'd also be hearing it at normal speed if playing anime music on stream wasn't a one-way ticket to DMCAing faster than you could possibly fucking believe.
Yep.
I don't know, it depends. Are we gonna play any song from G Gundam? Because that always seemed to be the one that triggered it the most.
Anime music as a whole
I mean,
has
anime
become
music as a
super
whole, but-
become super fast to get DMCA'd on Twitch now.
But it seemed like the very first hits we always got were
Oh yeah, they were
like,
always G Gundam.
oh yeah, you used that attack from G Gundam and it's playing a G Gundam song.
It's because I specifically used the one where Domon Kashu's voice actor sang the fucking song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like our at some point upcoming new multiplayer playthrough of Stardew Valley, where everyone but the person streaming it is going to have some definitely copyrighted music playing.
It's just a shame because there's great stuff like the chant version of the Gao Gai Gar thing.
Yes,
Yes.
the Galgagar Genesik final
Which is
version,
just
which is
so good.
so good. The Ray Earth stuff that I got,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
where it was actually like the live concert performance by the singer.
So nice of them to blow themselves up.
Clearly, I can take that suit. That's flew right past us and blew up every warship we have.
Blew up every warship with a single shot.
And is now just using its weakest weapon to one-shot all of us.
Is literally annihilating dudes with a beam saber.
Yeah, these people are effectively just running themselves onto the beam saber. No, stop! I'm only holding it out to ward you off.
I'm not even using the high torque punch.
Do they all play piano?
I mean, that's part about being a coordinator in the Zaft army.
Yeah, you have to be coordinated to play a piano and fly a suit at the same time.
Good job. You moved 3 squares.
Fairly certain that will finish it off if it hits.
If it hits. It's such a good track. The Bandai Namco sound team is so fucking good.
Yeah.
If they ever do animate Crossbone, I'm really hoping that they...
Oh, I'm sure they'll use some of the tracks that they've done over the years for like Super Robot Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the fan base would fucking riot if they don't. To us, that is Crossbone music. Like,
Like, even if they can't use those tracks specifically, they need to get the team involved. So at least something suitably equal is there.
What is that thing at?
So I'm pretty sure I can just safely hit it with the powered red frame. Because when we swung at the powered red frame before, it was at 10k.
Okay, that'll do it. Yeah.
I mean, I created this suit. Shut up.
下船なものの考えそうなことだ。所詮ジャンク屋ごときに理解できることではないな。これ以上語るは無意味。死ね！
There we go. No, actually, I've just got a backup over there with a fucking rail cannon.
Don't make me use the photon gun.
In a series with a lot of hand-wavy science, Mirage Colloid is extremely hand-wavy.
Yes.
Special particles.
And they already got special particles that turn off nuclear reactions. Whatever the fuck else you want at this point, really.
Yeah, I know. And then turn off the special particles that turn off nuclear reaction.
Another fleet noticed the fighting and decided they wanted to die.
You're ambushing us with strike daggers.
Uh-huh.
This is a new transport vessel. I haven't really been looking at that long.
You get sick of it real easily.
Unfortunately, this is not late enough to the story for the 150 millimeter Gerber
No.
straight to be stored literally on the side of the ship.
Yep.
Oh, special text box.
I was here too.
And the blue frame theme.
Wait, he can feel the feelings of Gundams. He's an L diver.
No, he's just low and is dumb. Unknown. All right. Let's see. Oh. Buster daggers.
Yep.
Okay, that answers my curiosity.
Oh.
So the original idea was to actually make striker packs based on the Buster, even after it being stolen. But the war having a very condensed timetable and build time in order to get the stuff into mass production, they just outright made a variant of the strike dagger that has Buster.
As the Buster
weaponry.
gear. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know why, but this part is the most interesting part of the Seed universe, other than the actual Stray stories. They actually do a decent job of having actual etymology to every suit. That was written somewhere at some point in history. There is actually a lot of interrelated and connectivity between all the suits. Ah, physical. Yeah. Yes.
Well, okay then.
Even longer sword.
More surprised something here drops physical knowledge.
That was the gold frame.
Okay, that makes enough sense, I guess.
I'd like to imagine the suit's arms telescope out Inspector Gadget style.
Attaches another sword to the end of the sword.
Yeah, it's no longer the 150 meter, it's the 155 meter. A little bit longer.
No, there's nothing else left on the northern side.
Yeah, just these. The victory condition will destroy all trash.
Yep.
Gotta pad the mission somehow.
You have 2?
Yeah.
Press them for not standing in a checkerboard pattern.
How dare they?
I think all but like one of them was standing directly off the checkerboard.
Yes.
pattern.
Hence why I moved one space and then did this.
It seems so unspectacular for such a horrifying weapon.
I think it's a distinct possibility, Fanboymus, that with the G-Reco movies being out, that we'll see G-Reco in the next mainline SRW.
Yeah, they're effectively current again.
Have they finished those up, by the way?
No?
I think we've still got one left.
Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for them to all be out before I watch them. And
mean,
see if it
when
makes
we
any
get
more
to-
sense than the series.
When we get to SRWX, G-Reco isn't that.
Yes.
Like, we'll have Bellary in the G cell. And technically I know the GRK with her too.
Admittedly, I'm very much in the case of like, I'm not really sure what to expect from the next mainline SRW, just because they blew so much of their wad with 30.
I'm trying to think if there's been any
Like, just
notable-
between base game and all the fucking DLC in the world.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's been any notable series that have come out in the past few years.
Not a ton mecha-wise. There's a handful of them that have been decently significant, but mostly, like, obviously there's been a lot of Gundam stuff, so,
Yeah.
you know, kind of whatever there. Like, we might see Hathaway stuff in there, because, again, Hathaway is current anime. G-Reco we might see, because, again, the movies make that relevant.
Witch from Mercury.
We probably won't see Witch from Mercury in the next one. It usually takes them a little while. So Witch from Mercury will probably be in the like second, like the one after the next one. Because like you have to realize like the next SRW game was in development before Witch from Mercury existed.
That's fair.
Like that's just how they work development cycle wise. Yeah, Fafnir. If they use Love Muff, I'm boycotting.
Bail.
I say this as someone who backed that Kickstarter. If they use Love Muff, I'm fucking bailing.
Ah, Mirage Colloid actually kicked in.
Yep. That'll make it the third time we've seen it actually work, and I think the first time on the gold frame. We've seen it a couple times from the Mirage frame.
Yep.
Admittedly, it's a much better feature for a warship. Unfortunately, the only warship in this one that actually has Mirage Colloid is space only.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a treaty violation, but that's so.
Hey, check out this
stupidly
range
called.
4 150 Gerbera straight.
Ridiculous.
That is technically true. There is technically a whole new Full Metal Panic they could use in Super Robot Wars.
That is true.
Is there though?
I'm new in the. I mean, new asterisk.
I mean, they did animate. No, they did Invisible Victory, which
Yep.
Yeah.
actually did another book. But like,
It's not new. It's but the book has
stuff-
existed for a long
The stuff
time.
that was
But
in that was already in V,
V, yes.
Yeah.
because that just didn't care about the animated stuff, just used the novel.
Yeah, it just used the stuff that was already in the novel.
Technically, there's was it Sigma, which is like a retelling spin-off they could use if they wanted to.
It doesn't deviate that much.
Yeah. But like that wouldn't really change what would show up. I mean, I'd be perfectly fine if they want to put Full Metal Panic in, yeah.
Like, also, Invisible Victory is far more recent than Sigma. Sigma finished up a while ago.
I mean, yeah, Invisible Victory is fairly. My point about that was like, yes, Invisible Victory is like
Got animated
the most
recently,
recent
but
animated
it's
thing.
not. They already
But
did the
the
Invisible
content
stuff
of
in
that has
the
already
novel.
been in
Yeah.
SRW.
I mean, yeah, but the same thing could be said about G-Reco.
Sort of. They actually redid a lot with the movies.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Like I said, maybe it'll be a better version of it than the TV series, because, man, was that... TV series was a thing. No, steering someone else. They're from G-Reco. I'm fairly certain I'm remembering that correctly.
extra 91 points of damage.
Let's see here. They technically have Shin Sakura Wars. They could include stuff from.
Ah,
Look at the list of recent mecha anime.
Quite literally like 2020's mecha anime, which is like G-Reco, Shin Sakura Wars, Build Divers Re-Rise, Seven Souls, Machine Hero Wataru, and Listeners.
So I assume Build Divers would be basically a no.
yeah.
They've done weirder shit.
Build Fighters would be a weird one to include after Re-Rise and Build Divers, considering that involves actual
Re-Rise is an
Gundam being
act-
created on an
yeah.
alternate world 30 light years away. They could absolutely do that.
Yeah, Build Divers Re-Rise is like a reverse isekai, where they pull stuff out of the MMO into the real world.
That sounds like something out of the Super Robot Wars game. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
both
Yeah.
seasons of Divers go into some weird places.
I mean, both seasons of Divers go into some weird place. So the first season still takes place entirely within like the online game,
Yeah.
but season 2 is literally we teleported your consciousness 30 light years away to another planet, and then using sand reconstituted a body and Gundam for you.
Yeah, like they could definitely work the plot of Re-Rise into an SRW game with no problem whatsoever.
I mean, really, if they want to do any of them, they could just hand wave and do it like, oh yeah, we have we fight using these little terminals, but it makes our Gundams full size, and then you can do every build fighter.
I mean, alternatively, Fighters is easy enough in that you literally start on Ryuji's world,
Yeah.
Yep.
where just like magic is just a thing.
Yeah, they could easily do some hand wavy reason for why they could do any of the fighters or divers games or anime into it.
Of course, then in every mission, you'd be contractually obligated to have Patrick Colasauer in the background. So
That's only for divers. You have to reference tons of characters doing
Fighters.
fighters. Although it really just means you'll have Romba with you the entire time.
I'm fine with this. Especially if he ends up meeting 0079 Ron Raw.
He's just Mr. Rawl is
Mr.
just
Rawl.
one of your supports.
Yeah.
Yep.
He would totally just be a support character if they did fighters.
I still love the joke theory that he's actually just a one-to-one Platsky model of Ron
Of Ramba Rawl
that's
that got
animated.
animated, yeah. He was like a promotional statue.
I mean, that would explain why he sticks around the shop so much. He was clearly made for that shop.
Why he sticks around Say's shop? I'm pretty sure it's hot for his mom. Look, Dad ain't there all the time. He's too busy being a
Gunpla police.
Interpol member.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The theory kind of falls apart when then you also realize that he's the advisor for the high school Gunpla battle team,
Also the high.
despite not being an employee of the high school.
I mean, if Mr. Rawl shows up and says, "Hey, I want to be your like school guidance guy for your after school club," you just let him.
My favorite part about that is for like all the other characters we see, we never really find out their names, so we don't really know if they are named the same as the characters. Mr. Rawl is, as far as we know, still Ramba Rawl.
Ramba Rawl, yes.
In a universe where fictitious Ramba Rawl
Exists, yes,
correct.
because 0079 was in fact a series. Apparently in Japan, having a mustache like that means you're a badass. Somebody should tell him over here it means you're a math teacher.
Ellery has killed too much. He is tired now.
Yes, he has. He
Yes.
has 6 energy, and these things can't hit him to give him energy back.
And he doesn't have natural regeneration. This is actually why this suit is just slightly worse than the Dovolo Quanti.
In fairness, he would have been fine if I hadn't used the map attack.
That'd be the other issue, yeah.
I did the map attack because it was funny. He would still have plenty of energy if I hadn't used
Oh
the
yeah,
map
he has
attack.
more than enough energy for like this board. It's like on the bigger boards where even using like low things are going to run out of energy, especially when stuff just starts throwing waves of itself at you.
Then you just start throwing energy regen. Or some stuff.
The stuff that's naturally built into suits is way better than anything you can actually get as a part. The stuff as a part is not terribly great.
Eh?
I mean, he needs to use like a 12 power, like,
Yeah, he
Beam
kills
saber
things with the
attack to
fucking
kill
beam saber and
everything.
high
Yeah,
torque
this
punch.
stuff,
He
but
doesn't need a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And no, not just this stuff. With the stuff I've got on him, he can kill named characters with the high torque punch in like one shot if he's in super high.
it's practically every melee upgrade.
There is that.
Yes, technically there's a bunch of stuff that showed up in Cross Omega that could technically be used in a mainline SRW game, except mainline SRWs tend not to go with the justification of like, oh, as sort of a joke, Mecha showed up in this one episode of this series, therefore we're going to include it in SRW. They'll do that with DD or Cross Omega. They won't really do that with mainline.
That's part of the problem with mainline is they do try and basically wrap whatever story for the most part, to some extent.
At least partially. Like at least you get one or
partially.
two scenarios for every series.
But if you
typically.
only have like, we threw this thing, so it was a mecha and like a half an episode of a random show.
Yeah, it's like Crayon Shin-Chan isn't going to show up in a fucking mainline SRW. It's like by that justification, you could be like, well, Pop Team Epic had that one gag where they were mecha, so it's going to be an SRW. It's like, it's really not.
It's still not a mecha series.
Like, they'll absolutely put it in Cross Omega or one of the mobile games. They won't do it in mainline.
I'm just hoping that when we get whatever's after 30, we get another situation like the ship in 30.
Like, honestly, it was a stretch. People were surprised when they included Ray Earth in SRW, despite the fact that the magical beasts are actually a major part of Ray Earth.
Yeah.
Like, Ray Earth is and always has been on some level a mecha anime. But people were still like, oh my god, Ray Earth and SRW? And it's like, I mean, it makes absolute sense.
I was more surprised when they included Cowboy Bebop into one of them. I wasn't against it. It's cool, but
Yeah, I mean, that's them branching out a little bit because, typically it is mecha anime, but every once in a while they have included, more sort of generic sci-fi anime series. That's why you have stuff like Harlock has been in a few of them. You've had, Yamato, stuff like that. And so it wasn't a super big stretch for Bebop to be there. It was still surprising and cool, and I actually really like it.
and Spike became one of our best units.
And for them to treat the units as actual like mecha units as compared to stuff like Yamato, even when Yamato was included in it, even on those missions where you had like the Cosmo Zero, it was treated as a warship, not actually a mecha.
Well, it was treated as filler.
There were a couple missions where it was treated as the actual warship for that mission.
Yes.
Yeah, there were a handful of missions where you were using the Cosmo Zero and not the Yamato. Because like the Yamato was out for repairs or was disabled or any number of other reasons.
Yeah.
The Red Baron flew into its gun barrel.
Check, check.
Yeah, you're
Apparently I
muted.
forgot to unmute after coughing. Okay.
I don't think it's likely that Devilman's going to show up in an SRW because, yes, you can use the justification that, yes, you can turn, kaiju sized and has had crossovers with, Getter and Mazinger. But again, they typically tend to stray away from it. Although now that like Ultraman and Gridman have shown up, all bets are kind of off. They have definitely loosened the guidelines of what will show up in an SRW by a lot. Okay, Better Man exists specifically because it is literally the same world as Gao-Gai-Gar. That gets like a hand wave because it's in the world of a mecha anime.
I would still like them to go like back a bit and do something like Outlaw Star in an SRW game.
I mean, there's no saying they couldn't. They did Cowboy Bebop fairly recently.
Basically, just work like mecha, and then you'd also have to explain that the Galactic Ley Line is also Get a Race.
Get a Race. That's a very V thing. Most of the time, they don't try and explain all energy in the universe as somehow being Get a Race.
I was gonna say, is there
Well,
anything...
they don't, but I certainly am.
It's like, is there anything that doesn't fall under Get Rays or somehow DG cells?
I mean, tons of stuff.
Yeah, there's Zonder Metal.
There's Zonder Metal, Invaders. Like, most things are not Getter Rays or DG cells unless you're in V, apparently.
Yes, in V, they just decide to make everything related
Getter Rays.
Getter Rays or Dragunium, etc., all a single unique or single all-encompassing energy type.
Dimensional
Just
shift
fine because we had
technology.
to engage even less with cross arrays because of it.
The reason Transformers will never be in a Super Robot Wars is because the company that owns Transformers fucking hates Bandai Namco. Like, they will never make an agreement.
Yeah, there is a
Takara Tomy and Bandai Namco will never make an agreement.
there is a death blood feud between those two companies.
What about Transmorphers?
Well, no, Transmorphers would be in the game, but we wouldn't have the budget to show it, so it would always happen off screen.
Okay.
You do an attack with a Transmorpher, it just cuts to a black screen for a while, and then shifts.
Yeah, the receiver died, so if you want to go plug this in somewhere where there's a C charger.
What?
It's Transformers is technically Takara Tomy, who I believe are mostly owned by Hasbro, but
Oh no, myself, but tilted 20 degrees.
Oh, my twin brother, how did you choke to get death on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
so remember when I said that Gina was the stable one?
Surprisingly, it says bounce less than you would think.
So the reason why a lot of Macross stuff hasn't shown up in recent SRW games didn't really have a whole lot to do with the Harmony Gold thing, because the Harmony Gold thing really is only US rights. And while they are somewhat concerned with Western release, I mean, 30 is the first game that got an actual US release. The Harmony Gold rights issue wasn't preventing them from releasing it in English in Southeast Asia. They just stopped using Macross for large swaths of time for reasons. Like,
Relevance, I'm not entirely sure.
There was a point back in the like PSP, PS2 era where like Macross was gone for like, I want to say 8 or 10 years from SRW, and then showed up again, and whatever, but they just venture away from Macross for long periods of time. Despite being a fairly popular sort of macro series, Macross does not have the same level of cultural cachet in Japan, particularly among Japanese mecha fans, as Gundam, Mazinger, Getter Robo, etc. It's definitely popular. It can be discussed in the same sentence as those others, but there is no denying it's sort of the bottom end of that tier, essentially. And so it's like, if they already have Gundam, if they already have Mazinger, if they already have Getter, if they already have all this other stuff, they don't necessarily feel like they need to include Macross stuff most of the time. Especially because when it really comes down to it, a lot of the stories that we've had for the more recent SRW games wouldn't necessarily have really benefited that much by having Macross stuff in them. Particularly Delta, yes.
Delta's pretty popular, so.
Delta's pretty popular, but it just the story of Delta wouldn't necessarily mesh all that well with a lot of the other stuff.
We literally do not care about the war or plot happening around us. Let's do something more interesting. Maybe if I built a really big sword.
I mean, my only hope is if we do include Macross Delta in an upcoming Super Robot Wars game, we also have Macross 7 in it.
Hell yes, the best Macross.
Sure. I'll sign off on it.
We're a flying idol group that have pilots fly us around in these Veritechs and sing songs to boost their abilities. Really? I just do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Fire my speaker missiles.
Look, you will listen to my song. It is one song. I only have the one.
And they continue to fly around and have fun adventures unrelated to Seed. Directly related to Seed.
All right, so we get the Ismo. Yeah.
Yep.
We do get Captain GG.
Yes. With his unique ability, the first coordinator.
Yes.
High navigation.
Decently high command as well.
Yeah.
But yes, his unique ability, first coordinator, just plus 30% to all stat altering effects on him.
Yeah.
I think I might actually genuinely swap out Zehart for him. I don't know, though. If I do that, it'll be between streams.
Yeah.
Right, so that wraps up Astray.
And moving on to Exastray. It should be noted there's like almost a dozen Astray mangas.
Yes.
I wish they focused more on those than the actual Seed plot, because they're all fairly decent at least.
Ironically, it was the series that went astray. Don't shake your head at me, you were thinking it too.
Meanwhile, we found other parts of the Seed plot that they just kind of left laying on the ground that we're going to pick up and do something with.
You're making that up.
No, he's an exchange student from Double O. Don't worry about it.
せられた運命、その重さと輝きをきっとプレイヤーは
The energy crisis would be easy to solve. You have N jammer cancelers now.
No, this is before that. As a matter of fact, this takes place right before the right before and during the Freedom and Justice arc, basically. And yes, this
is where we see
basically
a lot more of Kazahana.
Yeah. This is where we see a lot more of Kazahana. Also, yes, this is basically a text summary of a lot stuff that's a lot more interesting to honestly read in the manga.
Yes.
Because it takes a little while to get to a combat that means anything. But yes, Reverie is transporting something on behead or to Reverend, what's his name that I can never remember. Malkio, yeah. But the Serpent's Tail basically steals the head of the mobile suit. Yeah, I would much prefer. Well, literally, they just did all of Astray. As a matter of fact, they could have left the seed itself on the sidelines, just done Astray. Yeah, this kind of exists in the background, but there is a such thing as worker mobile suits in this universe.
Yeah.
You just never see them. Or almost never see them. They come in, but basically Astray and Stargazer.
Worker Jins were actually what they had earlier when
Yeah.
they were doing salvage.
Yeah,
Like, they have worker mobile suits.
they do, yes. Which makes sense. The Junk Guild would need
Yeah.
them. Yeah. That's ostensibly. I mean, technically they have... As much as you would need a mobile suit for... it's just the general mobile suit hand-waving.
They never developed the ball.
Actually, their worker units, their like base worker pods are kind of in that idea almost, just not as round.
Yeah.
Like a couple hands attached to a ship. I guess if Lo was there for the Break the World incident, he would have taken out a giant ass katana and started cutting. Although that's actually ground they kind of already, not directly but indirectly covered in the original Astray manga, because the Heliopolis debris is very much something they worked on.
Yeah.
A new G.
新たなる G。
Turns out it's just a guacamole recipe.
Not to be confused with a new returner.
We built this entire colony just for genetic experiments.
And subtly named it Mendel.
That's right. I forgot that was a thing. There's a... See if I can find it by searching influenza. Yes, S2 influenza. So, one other thing that is in the backstory is S2 influenza, which is a virus that actually killed, like, a bunch of naturals on Earth, but coordinators are immune to. This is one of the driving factors in the background between the animosity. This comes up, like, in a Stray. That's about it. Partially because coordinators are immune to it, and partially because rumors that coordinators might have been behind
Like
it.
genetically engineered it specifically to wipe out naturals, yada yada.
Cute old people in scene. I hate that my kids aren't affected by this virus.
I mean, what kind of fucking wacko would, in the face of a, humanity-wide viral epidemic, try and claim that somebody genetically engineered it specifically to use against other people?
I think that is every virus since anyone has actually realized that genetic engineering is a thing.
And yet, it's still stupid every fucking time someone claims it.
Yes. Ah, yes, Kennard. Kennard Pars, who runs around asking people if they know who Kira Yamato is. This is his plot
He's
for
over
finding
there.
Kira Yamato.
Have you seen this man?
Like, there's any way you would know Kira Yamato. He totally knows Kira Yamato.
Yeah.
In the sense that he took his unconscious body to...
Yes.
Has met Kira Yamato.
Yeah. Kennard is not a smart man.
What do you expect from a man named Duck Pars?
Ah, yes, his machine gun energy weapon complete with ammo. So for, as dumb as that sounds, for understandable reasons, it actually has its own independent power source / like ammo batteries.
Battery
effectively.
pack, yeah.
Yeah. Because quite frankly, the Hyperion, his suit, its main defensive feature drains battery like ridiculously so. So every weapon it has is designed basically to be as low energy as possible.
Yeah, I mean, the first instance of energy weapons in Gundam is basically still having magazines of some sort.
Yeah. If only the stuff in the Four Coma was actually canon in the stories sometimes. As low salvage the strike would actually make a decent amount of sense. Yes, Gerard Garcia making another appearance. Because we can actually have reoccurring villains in a Stray. So, partially because of his backstory and partially because of the people he works with, while Kennard is the antagonist, he is also almost the co-protagonist in this story as well.
Yeah. No, I would definitely classify Kennard as the deuteragonist of X Astray.
Yeah.
It's a less direct, like, rivalry thing like you have going with, like, Lo and Guy from Base Astray, but it is still very much a case of, like, X Astray is the story both of Prayer and Kennard.
Yeah.
Deal was he's an asshole.
The deal is he is an asshole.
Hey, do you know Kira Yamato? No. All right. Well, you've seen my suit, so you have to die now. You showed up to me, dickbag.
There's a such thing as radio. You didn't have to come face to face ask me this question. This is all on you.
No, I've seen Gundam. He definitely does. You should be more impressed they didn't get out of their bubble suits as a conversation in space.
No. The galaxy isn't inundated with Minovsky particles in this one. They can use radios.
Yes. There is some interference, ostensibly, from
Nothing like Minovsky particle radiation.
And jammers,
in
but it's
UC.
nothing like that. Yeah. It's like long distance communications is not that big an issue.
No, but it's a Gundam series, so
Yes, I know. I have no idea how enemy pilots are talking to each other either, as freely as they do.
everyone's just on open radio channels at all times while in combat. They enter the Gundam Fight Discord. Pick one of the audio channels to go into. I had to go talk to Kira real quick. Hold on.
God damn it, Setsuna. You cannot just join the fucking channel as Gundam.
Why is the channel named Boat Enthusiasts?
It's just Kira in there, and he has it locked.
And that one dude from Igloo. I will speak to you of the soul of a fisherman. Oh, I'm interested in this.
Certainly an all-gray color scheme.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it. It's all gray. It'd be really stupid if it just turned colors when a power activated or something. Especially with some sort of defensive ability, thereby signaling to your enemies that your defensive ability was active by the fact that your suit now had colors on it. Who would design a fucked up, stupid system like that?
So, if we're going with an interpretation that doesn't translate well to animation, it might be that the system puts out light or a little visual coating of light over it that wouldn't actually be something you could see. I'm stretching here, but
This would be
anyways,
justifiable if it were a single color that appeared.
Yeah. No, you can make it various colors because they decided to be fancy with it.
Cool. I make mine gray so it looks the fucking same as my regular suit.
That'd be a glowing.
We've talked
gray.
about this before.
Yeah, I know. But, if it was played out,
down to it, no one's entering a combat situation without their fucking defensive ability on. So making it gray doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to assume my enemy has his defenses up if he's actively attacking us.
I mean, the only reason I would point out that that's not necessarily the case is because of the energy efficiency issue. Specifically, that the phase shift armor involves, because it does actually take energy to keep the phase shift armor active.
That would be more of an argument if they ever deployed it like that in combat.
I'm aware that
have it turned on.
I'm aware that they don't address the actual mechanical flaws of the phase shift armor series system in Seed, but that's because Seed is a bad fucking series that like puts out things that could be interesting narrative devices and then fucking drops them all. If Seed were written by a better, more competent writer, there would be considerations in place for, oh, I can't activate my phase shift armor. I'm running low on energy and need that to be able to use my fucking weapons.
it's a strange binary of no matter what they're doing, even if they're like not in combat, the phase shift armor is always on. Which is either a design flaw or something it needs on for the system to work somehow magically. I have no idea.
Well, of course you have no idea. They never fucking explain anything.
In and of itself, phase shift armor works on about the same level as like neutron jammers, so it's
They have phase shift armor. That's a thing.
yes.
You're
Yes.
making that up.
No, super coordinators are a thing. There's precisely one.
You're making that up.
Kira Yamato is a super coordinator.
The fuck he is.
He has protagonist powers.
Kira Yamato is a wood block in a uniform. Somebody drew a face on him with a Sharpie. But they weren't very creative, so they just copied Kigali's.
The most impressive thing about the Hyperion actually is the fact that the name Hyperion hadn't already been taken by a Gundam yet.
Yeah. Most series either have some sort of themic naming to the Gundams within said series, or if you really look at it up to this point, most of the Gundams prior to Seed didn't really have names.
Well,
The only other series that really had like names for Gundams for the most part was Wing. In most cases, they're like numerical
and UC.
ish.
I mean, Greek letters is very much a theme in UC.
Yeah, but that's still it's a designator. It's not really a name. It's not, whatever. And also here's the thing, like Zeta, Double Zeta, those are exceptions. The most Gundams are Gundam Mark II, Gundam Mark III, Gundam Mark IV in UC.
New G.
Yeah, but those are literally decades apart.
The newly invented Greek letter unicorn.
But like, yeah.
Technically, the unicorn or a nickname, not an actual name.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
not
weapon.
actually its
That's true.
It
designation.
was just the RX-0.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. X. Key.
Yeah, but I can see the point that Bograt's
But, yeah.
getting at. The names tended to be very simple and or just a name based on the designation it already had.
Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah, alternatively, the only other series that tended to have like named Gundams, there were like 5 of them.
Yeah.
So, like,
With probably the notable exception of G Gundam, but we can just wave that off. And Hyperion would not appear in G Gundam.
No,
for obvious reasons.
no.
I don't think there's a country that would actually.
No, it wouldn't make sense
Yeah.
or anything. Like, so you've got Wing. Hyperion is not nearly edgy enough a name to be used for a Gundam in Wing.
That's not a Zodiac.
You've got X. There's like 3 Gundams in X.
00 has a theme and sticks to it.
The two villain ones.
Yeah. Like, there are not that many Gundams in X, so there weren't going to really be a whole lot of names used. And multiple of the Gundams are just X, X divider, double X. There are effectively, yes, 4 named Gundams in X, because you have the Leopard, the
So
Airmaster.
X over 2 and 2X.
Yeah, you have Leopard, Airmaster, Versago, and Astaroth. Like, other than up to this point, and yes, G, where Hyperion wouldn't make sense for any of the Gundams to be named. It doesn't really resonate with any particular country. So any other Gundam up to the point of Seed, there's not really an opportunity they would have had to use Hyperion. The closest we ever got is there is technically a thing in UC called the Super Gundam, but even that's actually technically an unofficial name for a Mark II with a booster set.
Oh, yeah, since we've been talking about it a lot. So, anyways, the Hyperion was actually developed by Akaton Industries, which are a rival of Morgan Road, and we will talk about later in Stardust, of all things.
Yes.
Basically, the Hyperion...
Stargazer involves
Or Stargazer,
more of that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. But, in any case, the Hyperion is a brief model of mobile suits that they made for the Eurasian Alliance before they just fuck it and went with the mass-produced strike daggers during the First War. They made precisely 12 of them. Like, 2 appear in this series, and some of them actually appear later in, like, Series Astray and other...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm fit to be that idiot. I want to say in this game there are technically 3 Hyperion units.
At least it also depends on what you count the Dreadnought H has, but
Because there's the Hyperion Unit 2, and then the Super Hyperion.
yes, because they separate the Hyperion and the Super. The Hyperion and the Super Hyperion are
They are the same suit. It just
it's
has a bunch of upgrades done to it.
yeah. It has one specific upgrade done to it, but that's in this plot, so we'll get to it.
Yeah. And yes, the Dreadnought H, which is also technically sort of a Hyperion.
It's the Dreadnought chassis. It just has some of the Hyperion's equipment built into it. Because the original Dreadnought equipment is not actually usable by anybody or by very many people. So
I know what you're talking about. I can put whatever pilot I want in the Dreadnought.
outside of G Gen games. This would make the bit so fucking hilarious. Just like running around asking everyone, "Do you know Kira Yamato?" As his method of trying to find Kira Yamato.
You mean like Domon does?
Have you seen this man?
I would love if he had like a giant mobile suit sized poster of Kira
Or
Yamato.
my villainous brother Kiriyamato. Wait, no, it's not my brother. But I am looking for Kiriyamato. Do you know where he is?
I mean, that's quite literally like roughly the first third of G Gundam is Domon randomly wandering the earth, and every person he runs into just holding up the photo of Kyoji and asking, "Do you know this man?" And this somehow leading to a Gundam fight.
Yeah, I guess if you ask people, like if they know people, just encourage them to attack you, and then you beat their ass because you're doing Kanji.
Because your country is the first country to ever have the brilliant idea of, hey, we're entering into a fighting tournament where destroying the head disqualifies the opponent. Why don't we just make a Gundam whose specific attack is grab him by the head and have your hand explode?
Yeah. And yes, the primary feature of the Hyperion, the Armor Lumiere. You know, that thing we put on a giant alien satellite in the middle of fucking nowhere. What if we just put it on a mobile suit? It has one giant flaw.
It's very power inefficient.
It is very power inefficient.
I mean, it has two giant flaws. It's very power inefficient, and it's two-way.
No, it's actually one way.
Is it for the Hyperion?
Yeah, it is actually one way for the Hyperion.
Because the part
they actually fixed that part.
Yeah, the problem with the Artemis's umbrella is
It's
it
also
is two-way.
Yeah, it is two-way, so they couldn't actually shoot out. Can you make sure Elijah doesn't kill himself? I think you actually have control over him, though.
Yes.
So Elijah goes in the corner. I believe you are just powerful enough to damage him. The Armor Lumiere is basically...
it's a flat damage reduction.
Yeah. It's not flat damage reduction.
Or that's right, it's anything under a certain amount does nothing.
Yeah.
It's that style of DR.
Yeah. Or not, but it also...
Yeah, it specifically
nullifies
all
it.
damage less than 6,000.
Yeah, it's actually a rather significant version of that, especially for this game, because they don't usually hit numbers that high.
Yep.
There it goes.
There we go.
Back to decent health.
Yep. fuck off.
Yeah, it's just a matter of waiting for the shield to fall.
Yep. Yeah, it's not actually a terribly difficult optional objective fight. It's just a matter of if you first come into this and don't realize that that shield will only be up for like 2 turns. It's just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah. It also does help that the optional objective, if anything, makes the fight easier if you
Yes.
try to achieve it. So, because when the shield actually does come down, it's just an extra attacker at that point. It's fine. The blue frame is only sparking in every direction possible.
No. And yes, so somehow they managed to develop a miniaturized, one-directional umbrella of Artemis, and don't put this on literally every fucking suit they deploy.
And their warships, and especially their warships, because those don't have power issues.
Yeah, those are going to have a reactor that can constantly power the thing.
Yeah.
They're not battery operated.
Or coal power plant, or they don't actually explain what the hell the warships use. Just that they
A reactor of some sort.
you would assume, but at the same time, and jammers should stop them. But
Well, they're not nuclear.
It could just use diesel.
What they don't tell you is that their warships are actually entirely constructed out of solar panels. Gross.
So yes, Rondo Miyasahaku sailing around on a satellite with a not insignificant military force. Just cuz.
Prayer, you're like 12.
Yeah. Ah, yes, Zaf's mysterious new technology. Yes, a nuclear engine-powered mobile suit. A neutron jammer canceller of a sort.
Have you checked your vitals? Get up,
As it turns out, Zaf wants the Dreadnought back. So to more explain, the Dreadnought is actually the prototype nuclear-powered mobile suit.
Yep.
And Prayer is the designed pilot for said prototype suit. Azahana, as usual, the voice of reason. Also of note, the head that was stolen is where the nuclear reactor was. Kind of implying that they actually just put the power plants in the head.
Yeah.
It's not something expressly confirmed for other suits, but it
It seems like it would be a weird place to put it if it's not where the power normally is.
It does. But it doesn't not make sense in a weird way. If you're actually trying to have the pilot survive the reactor going, putting it as far away as possible is
No, these are
an
seat
option.
suits. The safest place to be is just floating cockpit.
That's true, too. But
I don't have all the Dreadnought parts. I don't care. Shove a fucking Guay's head on it.
effectively, yeah. It's like, oh god, is that what our heads look like? It does mean at the very least that the Guay's head has a battery in it, or an ultra-compact battery in it.
Yes, because there is no other power system in the Dreadnought. So just the fact that it is able to operate with a Guay's head means there has to be some sort of power system in the head of Guay's.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Burn Lapis is just really bad for all these missions.
Yeah, kind of.
So yeah, it's the Dreadnought Gundam Guay's head.
Yep. Which has pretty standard weaponry. I think the only reason it doesn't have a Jin in is the Jin canonically doesn't actually have the power to use energy weapons, so
No.
would have actually made any sense. Oh, that was a ship. I think they would stop parking those things within the reaching space of the G-Cell Perfect Pack.
Now, we've seen the general intelligence level of these people.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking around with the special objective because we're already a little short on time, and I do actually want to get through X Astray today. We'll probably run a bit long.
We are on the first of 3?
Yeah. But the second one doesn't have as much cutscene stuff.
No. I mean, if we do leave one or even if we do leave a mission for next week, I don't say that's a negative.
I do, because we're just fucking forestalling the inevitable. It means overall we have more time in Destiny, more weeks when we are having to deal with fucking Destiny.
It might or might not cut a week off of Destiny. I'm not entirely sure. Just simply because I'm not exactly sure how fast we're going to go through Destiny.
I would rather have the overflow be we have a week where we finish up Destiny and then head into 00 than have a week where we start with, or well, Stargazer. Yeah. Like, I would rather have a week where we start with something bad and end on something good than a week where we start on something good and then have to sit into something bad.
God's sakes, please don't skip Stargazer. It's one of the few gems we have here.
No, it's one of my favorite things in this game is Stargazer, so.
Okay, now that we're done cleaning up trash.
What the?
Hey, have you seen Kiriyama? Wait, you guys look familiar.
I already know you don't know Kira Yamato. I don't have to bother with it. Hi, Mikhail.
Mikhail, a guy who exists.
He's there. Bye, Mikhail.
Yep. Okay, I just wrote over.
Crush your head.
I just wrote over his entire history. Yeah, he's a character who's there.
It's like three sentences.
No, it's a few paragraphs. It's just like this is nothing of real
No.
note.
He's here. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Like, yeah. Mikhail, who sure is a guy that exists.
Of all the characters in Seed Astray, he is certainly one of them.
He is in Seed Cross Astray. He is not really significant to it. He's just kind of around, mostly to get punched in the face.
That is essentially his role in the plot, yeah.
He is mostly there because we can't have Prayer always just beat up Kennard.
What's left of the board?
The garbage over here.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's just
okay.
Kennard and some Mobius.
Why did they bother?
Padding.
Essentially. Yes, by the way, of relevance, we have been flying around in the Dreadnought H this whole time. That's what Descartes Shaman over here kicks around in. So that is the completed Dreadnought Gundam with some of the stuff from the Hyperion on it.
Effectively, yes. By completed, we mean it has its head.
Yeah.
It has its head, and it has some of the armor Lumiere generators for the
Yes, because it
back
has.
unit.
Yeah,
That's
because it
the
has
H part.
the armor Lumiere handy and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, the handy is effectively turning it into an offensive weapon.
Yep.
A amusingly named offensive weapon.
You know.
Not just one short.
Yep. Shut up, Kennard.
I found this a little bit more amusing if Kennard was actually building the Dreadnought H, but
That would necessitate me scouting Kennard, and he's not good.
yeah, he's okay.
晴らさせていただく劣等種これで終わりではない俺は何度でも這い上がってやる 会話などそんなものは必要ない従わなければ
I hope you like this theme. You'll be hearing it a lot. Let's just say Awakening of the Trailblazer missions are extremely long.
Uh-huh. Somehow. I don't think they even hurt anybody. Oh no. Yeah, you did, but we don't listen to you, so. Space terrain capability by 1.
Right. Dreadnought versus Hyperion.
Gundam と呼ぶ機体とその搭乗者キラヤマトを追い求めるハイペリオンのパイロット。地球軍に所属する彼は平均的なコーディネーター以上の能力を有していたのは彼自身の出生に理由がありました。スーパーコーディネーター、それはかつて L4 の
It's like coordinator, but we moved him up like, I don't know,
肉体と頭
half a
脳を
line.
極限にまで高める命の開発。史上最高のコーディネーターを生み出そうとする人々の執念は幾多の失敗を
Yeah, about that countless failures part.
After overcoming countless failures in their attempt to create the most powerful coordinator in history, they failed one more time.
カナードが追い求める標的キラヤマトだったのです。
That's a duck hunt.
No, they succeeded,
成功例を
but he lacked a personality.
その中で
I mean,
処分となるはず
did they though? Did they really?
ロシア連邦
As we previously mentioned, Seed would really like to tell you that Kira is better at everything than a normal human.
Well, that's
this is
just-
not displayed in any
Well,
way,
no, it
shape, or
wants to
form.
tell you that coordinators are better.
And that
Kira
Kira is the
actually-
best coordinator.
Kira actually does stuff that makes him legitimately look decent in
He's
comparison.
not even as good a pilot as Mulaflaga.
Uh,
唯一成功例であるキラヤマトを倒すこと。
no, he actually has a decent kill count in the series, ironically.
彼はずっと
And not just people running into him holding out a weapon or something.
Well, yes, but if kill count meant you were a good pilot, then the wing pilots are the best pilots in Gundam history.
They have actually decent stuff as well.
So yeah, that whole thing about not having a lot of cutscenes, because this one quite literally starts literally where we left off.
Yep. We don't got it. We only got the body and the nukes in the head. But no, I said
Nobody
nothing
said
about it.
anything like that. What I have to say is explosions.
Oh, sounds like the blue theme. Well, there we go.
What's Guy doing here? Kazahana is on your ship.
So to explain explain that a little bit. Prayer was actually working for Reverend, what's his name? To continue with this theme. So the Reverend had the idea of gaining a hold of the neutron jam canceller in order to deal with the energy crisis on Earth. Then Azrael got elected president, and he decided, wait, and hired Serpent's Tail to steal the head.
neutron jammer canceller.
Yes, to stop something dumb from happening. That something dumb happened anyway, so it's like, okay, fuck it, just give him the head back.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that Azrael tried to stop anything dumb from happening.
No, Azrael didn't. The Reverend did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Reverend tried to stop a dumb thing from happening because Azrael got elected as president.
You're going to need a lot more effort to stop dumb things from happening once Azrael becomes president.
More specifically, to stop him from getting a hold of it and jammer canceller technology.
Got it anyways.
Yes, but
And-
not this way.
And then they mass-produced it in like 5 seconds.
Yes.
Somehow.
Well, it turns out it's just salt.
Yeah, just rub some salt on these nukes and they work fine now.
On the one hand, I would have thought of trying that. On the other hand, I would have thought that would work.
You're surprised at the amazing abilities of salt.
But yes, the still not necessarily complete Dreadnought.
No, we still got to put 4 Dragoons on the back.
But yeah, more specifically, the Dreadnought isn't just a prototype for nuclear power, it's a prototype for the Dragoon system.
Yes.
Eventually leads to the development of the Providence.
What kind of coward would shoot somebody's ship?
Oh no, you defeated me, which means I must now defeat you.
Those are cowardly tactics. Only I'm allowed to use cowardly tactics.
Well, if you had 6 and 12, that's 18, which is older than most pilots, so...
Yeah. Oh no. He's back. Time to get into the cockpit. Young teenage Katra. So now we have the actual Dreadnought, which has most of the same attacks, but also the Beam Reamer.
Yes.
And also, as you may notice, the Gue's Head version only had Shield Defend. It now has Phase Shift Armor and the Neutron Jammer Canceler, which is explicitly just a 10% natural energy regen every turn.
If I remember, the Beam Reamer, as dumb as the name is an awakened weapon.
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that thing flying next to him. It is effectively a funnel.
Yep. That's a stupid name. It doesn't ride a horse. I take it back. Pristis is even dumber.
There we go. Disconnected Rapid Armament Group Overlook Operation Network.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, it is an acronym.
See, that's not always the case.
Shockingly, sometimes.
And of course, this being a Dragoon system means you basically need spatial awareness to operate it.
Yep. You got your ass kicked.
That's not how that works. You can't just become a super coordinator.
I said I am one, so now I am.
I mean, that's as justifiable as any other fucking explanation.
I want to super coordinate people to the next stage of evolution.
I can switch hands while masturbating and gain a stroke. That gives me abilities far in excess of normal humans. Therefore, I'm a coordinator. It's more superhuman ability than any coordinator in the series ever fucking displays. And yes, X Stray, still better than mainline Seed. However, as you may have noticed, one character is obsessed with Kira Yamada, which by necessity drags it back down.
Only a little. It's not actually anywhere near as
No, it's
focus
just
as it
constantly like,
seems.
it's just constantly like, I have to beat Kira. Why? I have to prove I'm better than Kira. You have a personality.
Ironically, by wanting to prove that you're better than Kira,
You have more personality than Kira fucking Yamato. He ran off like a bitch.
No, I'll go out there and not fight him. It will drive him insane.
His inner flames are raging because I fought him, so I'm going to fix this by going and fighting him again.
No, by going and not fighting him. Like, here you go, the blueprints to actually finish the Dreadnought. Okay, we're gonna put a giant X-shaped back unit on it. Why?
How much time have you
Valid
got?
question.
Neutron Jammer Canceller. We've already got one. They say they've already got one. Can we see it? No.
Boris has realized he's working for morons. And now is in blue text.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't get explicitly mentioned before this, but as Vince mentioned earlier, there's a bunch of Hyperions.
Yeah, there's like 12. It was a test line, basically.
Yeah.
The Hyperion, too. It's another Hyperion. That's it.
It's blue.
Yeah. That's it, though.
If I remember correctly, like in this game, mechanically, stat-wise, it is exactly the same as the Hyperion Unit 1.
Yeah. Yeah, the only difference is Kennard is ostensibly a better pilot.
Yes, Kennard is a better pilot than Balsam.
Yeah. Being a failed super coordinator.
As opposed to the successful super coordinator, completely indistinguishable from a coordinator, which is completely indistinguishable from a natural.
Kirioto, the I can't believe it's not butter of coordinators. Have you met your senior officers? You couldn't figure out that something like this would happen? Not that we can't just turn it around, but are we deployed backwards? No, we aren't. It's
No,
right there.
they're
Okay, yeah.
backwards.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ortesia is backwards because they were flying away from Artemis. Goodbye.
Hey. All right, continue with the plot.
I'm still here.
Damn it, Mikhail. How did you live? That's the part that actually more surprises me. And they're down there.
Yeah.
And yet still in range.
I mean, the stuff has a max range of fucking 9.
Yeah.
Most things are in range. Hi, Mikhail.
Bye, Mikhail.
Thought you were safe, motherfucker.
Well, fuck that guy.
Yep.
The only way to take out a Mobius.
Damn straight. Honestly, yeah, we'll play like one more. Up this way.
Trying to figure out what's going to take less time to finish this trash off.
Pretty much. Send out the Lord Stray Omega because it's not going to do much else. There we go. Okay. Yeah, they have some mild issues with encounter design in these games. It's fine. So it is somewhat helped by the fact that just based on the nature of our current team, they are powerful enough that I typically just like send the perfect G-Self Perfect to like one spot, and I'm like, okay, that whole area is taken care of. So I usually have a lot of stuff in reserves, which makes up for a lot.
Even still, it can be a bit of a slog sometimes. They do like to oversaturate enemies.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, more stuff like this where it's like, oh, they generated in this like giant swath of enemies, you know, a million miles away down the map. And it's like, that's okay. I've got the Kamaris Vidar over here still on its surfboard and can just cover a whole lot of ground in the
I think the most egregious one was the final mission of Seed,
where it adds like double the
it
thing.
Literally doubled the length of the map and
spawned like 40 new enemies. Yeah,
just moving.
Yeah. There is a lot of turns of just moving on that
to
one
get
because
to half
of,
the enemies on the beat.
yeah.
and the bigger, honestly, my bigger issue with it is less about the field expanding, but more about the stuff that they spawn in is literally just a bunch of garbage that is in no way, shape, or form challenging. It's not going to really significantly hurt me, and it's not going to survive more than one, maybe two hits from almost anything I'm fielding. It's literally just wasting my time.
Yeah, it was basically, here's 30 more units you've fought in every other mission so far. But now you also have to spend 4 turns getting to it.
It's just that guy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is exactly stuff like that where I wish that the G-Gen series did better map attacks.
Yeah.
Because, like, Super Robot Wars has map attacks that are actually pretty good at dealing with that kind of shit, where it's just like, oh, there's a whole bunch of garbage over here. Cool, I'm going to drop this map attack, and it might not one-shot them, but it's going to do, like, you know, like 2 hits of that map attack are going to deal with it for me.
That is like the SRW games when you do a map attack. are actual attacks with a value.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this just to finish it off
As
today.
opposed to
We'll
the
do a quick
G-Gen
dinner.
games where map attacks are flat damage.
Yeah.
So it's like, there are plenty of times when you have to eat 3 map attacks that are fairly finicky to fire off to try and get swaths of enemies done, which you just don't have. Which you don't have to deal with in G-Gen, where you can basically fire off map attacks that can wipe out trash.
Yeah, so they use the parts from the Hyperion too to finish repairing the Hyperion. He still wants to kill Yamato for some fucking reason. And he considers Prayer his rival, despite the fact that he has never been able to prove himself even remotely a match for Prayer.
Well, they had they had one fight, and then Prayer's like,
And Prayer's like, it's not worth it to fight you.
Like, this isn't going to end. We're just going to keep doing this. It's dumb. Meanwhile, Lo found something to build and is building it. I'm trying to sleep. God damn it, stop that.
随分な夢だったみたいじゃないか。僕のことを。ああ。もうお前にここで死なれてしまっては。僕は。まあいい。だが俺をこのまま。カナダさん。
己の宿命を果たすため、孤高の勝者を目指す命をもてあそぶ。人の業に導かれた二人の運命は。
Meanwhile, Prayer, who is slowly dying of clonitis.
I left for like 2 days.
Also, Kazahana is still here. Sure thing. This is a stupid idea, but it'd probably work.
GG, whose response is, "This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard come out of your mouth, Lo. I'm in." Meanwhile, just quiet sobbing from the corner. That's not George Glenn.
Let's go steal one. Yes, at this point, Special Task Force X is just basically acting as independent rogue agents.
Okay, like, in fairness, not defending the fact that you are not incorrect in that they did set off a microwave bomb underneath the base and kill a whole bunch of your compatriots. The Eurasian Alliance also has regularly betrayed the other parts of the Earth Alliance. You're not exactly innocent fucking bystanders in this. Quite literally, the Archangel showed up at Artemis, and fucking Gerard was like, I'm gonna fuck these people over.
Yes. No, they are backstabbing each other left and right. It's not exactly, yeah. Yeah, the only reason why Eurasia is cooperating now is because the North or the main alliance faction, I forget the name of, has neutron jam cancelers and basically has a nuclear arsenal. They're like, yeah, let's not piss them off.
Are those blue frames? No, they're slightly better M1s.
So I hear Rondo has a space station. We'll just use it to manufacture parts.
I mean, they're weapons designers. They've got to have the parts to make what we need.
If you're wondering why Sahaku appeared earlier.
Yep.
What's it for? Nothing? What? We're going to take it. We're not going to leave you any data, and we're going to build it. By the way, Lo has no idea.
Lo does not recognize. Yes.
And yes, it is also currently being used as a refugee camp for Orb.
Yeah.
And has a rather significant military inside. Including the Sword Calamity. This is as much as the Sword Calamity mostly gets mentioned, but I'm just saying. Sword Calamity has pilot, like one or another of that combat coordinator clones, actually. Atlantic Federation, that was the...
Yeah.
Yeah. They stole their precisely one nuclear power generator of a new Neutron Canceller, as far as I can tell. Thus making the Super Hyperion. Literally just the Hyperion of a nuclear generator.
No one calls him Mad Dog in the Moonlight. That's just what's on his Facebook profile.
Notably, That is the gun barrel dagger,
Yep.
which is a dagger with the gun barrel striker pack, which was made originally for Mulaflaga. Then he defected, so they gave it to a different person with spatial coordination. Or spatial awareness.
And yeah, Super Hyperion specifically has the Neutron Jammer Canceller, thereby giving it energy regen.
Yep. And Armor Lumiere, which is a lot lamer when it's yours.
Yes.
Because it takes like 30 energy for everything it blocks.
It takes significantly more energy than the Neutron Jammer Canceller regenerates to trigger every single time the Armor Lumiere generates.
I believe you actually have to be defending for it to trigger anyway, so...
Yep. Yes, it is an active trigger. It's not something you can just... That'll just trigger on every attack.
And we're done.
Yep. Oh no, I didn't get the special.
Was it defeat it with something or another?
Defeat 2 enemies in the same turn.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Bro, he's just not that into you.
Ah, yes, the finished Dreadnought. Or the Dreadnought X. Or the X Astray if you're low.
This is the X Astray, because it's got an X on its back, and it's gone astray from its original purpose. Why do we still let low name things? I built the giant death robot to help people, not to harm them. I wasn't joking. That's why it's called the X Astray. Low is really bad at naming things.
And everyone just goes with it. Also, they need to continue naming the series Astray, so... We found another abandoned colony. Are using it for background. This one looks really familiar. Extra strain, this bottle of whiskey, give me courage.
Otherwise known as, we had to do something over here so we could justify you putting your team on a different field so you don't just fucking humiliate Kennard by firing a rail cannon at him.
The cowards.
Alright, how do we make everything else spawn? 3 turns is, or actually,
Exchange 3 blows. It's
Turn and a
technically
half.
2 turns. Yeah, turn and a half, essentially.
secret condition, destroy 9 enemy units before they exchange 3 turns.
Secret condition guaranteed.
Yes.
Secret condition not guaranteed. I'm going to intentionally not do it. Because it'll make it take longer in the long run.
What's the range on the Dragoon system?
5.
5.
So this is what the Pristis Beam Reamer looks like now.
It's still just the Beam Reamer. It's
Yeah.
actually let's use the Dragoon system currently.
Yeah. It just, he has 2 of them now.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it'll probably take longer to avoid killing things than it would
Yeah.
to.
It's not going to spawn that much extra.
You can't hide. I smell a battleship back there. You.
That dual dagger.
Goodbye.
Okay.
They
did not, and it would be stupid if they did make an Aegis dagger.
No.
It's the only one they didn't make, though. Not that dual dagger makes much sense.
Strike dagger.
Mass production unit of long dagger. Color scheme is okay. How's the long dagger? Better question. Okay, the long dagger. Long dagger is a dagger that was actually built for Earth Alliance coordinators, such as Associate series of combat coordinators. Was actually based off the duel in the first place. The dual daggers are the same thing, but with a natural OS.
Yep.
Something of a minor note, this is the last we will see of this type of fodder.
Yep.
Have whole new fodder for Destiny.
Yep. This is not the last we'll see of the Dagger series, but the Dagger series does not appear in Destiny.
No.
And similarly, Zaft goes in another less creative direction with its mass-produced mobile suits.
Original ideas? Motherfucker, this is Seed Destiny.
Well, they have original ideas, they're just all bad.
Okay, so what if I just clear the entire field before they exchange 3 blows?
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're still in the first part of this fight.
Can anything else get over there? I don't
No,
think.
not even
Okay.
remotely.
こんな力を生まれながらに
僕こそ僕は黒ドラグーンをこれがその力を欲した軍が作っただけど僕は
Prayer's past is not completely explained. He is a clone, probably of Mulaflaga.
Probably.
Should probably just throw the attack into.
Nope.
Clearing everything out of principle.
Clearing the whole field before they trigger it.
Mouse for whatever decides to buy this.
That, or I could do the funny thing. Have the entire field clear before it. Because it amuses me. Like, you are correct, and the right thing to do is probably throw the attack and see what spawns. This is not what will be happening.
Alright, so now that the field is clear. Oh, wait, those guys.
面白い。なら戦うために生まれた存在。お前の俺たちは違います。それ
No, we can just not do that. What do you mean not do that?
Wait, hold on. You just said that you need to fight because of your super coordinator tells you that's what you're supposed to do, while also acknowledging that you're a failed super coordinator, so you shouldn't be required to do things based on the fact that you're a super coordinator.
生まれ持った宿命をお前なら理解できると思ったが、戦う宿命に苦しめられたのはあなたが否定する平和な暮らしが人の思いだと。あなたは気づいていない。だから僕なんだこのフォーメーションは。
Ah, Canard, how will you escape my tetrahedron now that you're out of piss?
I'm glad I was the only one thinking it.
あなたの殻を無理ただあなたのすべ暖かくそして強い
No, that's piss.
こんなものは受け入れんぞこのハイペリオンで吹き飛ばしてやる
I refuse to accept this. Pulls out like one of those big water jugs, starts chugging.
ダメだそれ以上は
Nope. I don't know, but it looks awesome. As it turns out, all I did was somehow shove a nuclear bomb in here. I'm not sure how it's working either.
Such devastation! This was not my intention!
So I can imagine Canard is fine.
Well, yeah, he was in the cockpit.
As we have established multiple times, safest place to be in a mobile suit is exploding cockpit.
Why is going this hard to fight Kira? He's a duck. He already floats in water. He doesn't need a boat. He's better than Kira.
Oh no, the Zaft fleet has arrived. Whatever will we do?
God damn it, Mikhail.
Lo will do nothing.
Oh God, that's Guy's entrance music.
No, these three suits.
Oh no, the Testament.
The Testament. Not appearing. This is a stray.
Is that like a champ, actually?
Well, yes, it's the Testament. It's like actually a defensive suit. Like, it actually has 250 default defense.
Yeah, no, it's actually a
And, like,
significant model.
reduces 2,000 damage from physical weapons, and...
Yeah, it's from Destiny Astray. It's actually a, like, second gen.
It is actually one of the best things to tank a shot from the Dineslav.
Or Destiny Astray, I should say, but it's from the Destiny era. And also, yeah, it has phase shift armor, so it's going to have damage reduction from physical.
Variable phase shift armor at that, so it doesn't even cost it energy to keep it going.
Yes. Okay, so the Testament is from the first nuclear line developed along with the Justice and the Freedom. But was stolen by Naturals because no one who actually builds a suit can
Hang on to it for more than 5 seconds, yes. Accurate.
It was actually built to use striker packs, of all things, was its after research into striker packs, and was later outfitted with the quantum computer virus so it can actually take over other suits. Except Lowe's.
俺は精一杯頑張ってるやつら
The other thing that's nice about SFS is it lets you kind of cheat a little bit when moving between maps like that.
Yes. Lets you effectively move after going backward or forward or whatever.
Yep. The fact that I can fucking hit the pinpoint on the warship from here with this fucking sword.
I mean, this thing has been used to bisect warships, so...
Yes. Yeah, it is specifically has anti-large, so...
Yeah.
Like, it is actually designed to be a weapon used to fuck up warships.
Well, no, it's designed because
in the
Lowe,
series, yes.
yeah,
But like,
it's designed because
I-
Lowe found a giant rock and wanted to make a giant sword out of it.
Yeah, so what I mean, in this game, mechanically,
Yeah.
it is designed
Yeah.
to be used against warships.
Lowe sees it more as a demolition tool, mostly.
Yes.
But is used against A's after warship and the Regenerate Gundam.
still there. There we go. You.
Yay, we've successfully eliminated one turn from the board. Conclusion.
This happened somehow.
攻撃によって傷つき核エンジンを暴走させたその機体は古くに廃棄されたコロニー内へと落下。すぐに私も爆発の光に包まれる彼らの後を追いましたが。
Canard learns the important lesson to stop being a weenie.
時間が機体をこうなるのは分かっていました。あなたは
And like every clone in a series dies at the end of the series of clonitis.
Clonitis.
Yep.
Yes.
僕は一人じゃない。人と人は思いの違う。こんな。もちろん最後にあなたがよかった。プレアはなぜだなぜ
Clonitis, we told you already.
コピーだからかクローンは死んでいい人間なのかこの俺はどうだ他人を殺してでもいい
Not only do their lives have value, we can actually attribute a specific dollar amount because this does cost money to do.
Sometimes they're a vanity project by a rich douchebag who uses them to make tons and tons of copies of a 10-year-old girl.
Yep.
Oh boy, Super Robot Wars X. A member of Serpentale, there was still one thing I needed to do for my mission. Pulls out a revolver, shoots Gennard.
ハイペリオンのバリアに対してドラグーンでハイペリオンのパイロットトレッドノートのパイロットプレアは死亡ニュートロンジャマーキャス了解した
Killed in action. He died of clonitis.
それが私に課せられた本任務最後の
So yeah, the Dreadnought H is actually assembled by Lowe after this.
Yep. You're like, ooh, I'll take that.
Parts.
Oddly enough, for Canard.
Yeah.
If he becomes less of a weenie, then sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he actually finishes Prayer's mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kira was just on a boat,
He
relaxing.
clearly on this boat to the beach.
Right, why the fuck was I obsessed over Kira? This is dumb.
Hey, Kira, your boat sucks. Aww. Who even was that guy?
I think it's a nice boat.
And thus we come to the end of X-Stray. And just as a whole, the Astray stuff that is reflected in this game. So yeah. Next week we
It's Destiny, baby.
Hell yeah!
Hell no.
Oh gee, my Steam account got banned. Guess we'll have to skip this game. Yeah, thank you for joining us for another Super Robot Sunday as we finish the last good Cosmic Era stuff for quite a while. We'll be back tomorrow with more Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Still taking a break on Tuesday. Hunter, you weren't going to start quite yet for your streams, right? Or were you planning on streaming on Tuesday? Okay. We will be having a little bit of fill-in on Tuesdays. At a certain point, Hunter's actually going to start streaming over on their channel with some of us guesting on various things. But that's not going to be for a little bit yet. We'll announce when that happens. We'll be back on Thursday. Still going through Dying Light.
Still going through Dying Light.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back here next Sunday with, for some reason, Seed Destiny as we continue our playthrough of SD Gundam G Generation Cross Rays. Until then, I've been Bograt.
I've been the Krampus.
I've been Shiv.
Hunter Green is off
Hunter
mic.
Green is still here, but off mic.
And I will enjoy the Schadenfreude, even if it will be also hurting myself.
Have a good one, everyone.